today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Ladera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and it's a pleasure to be in your company today on this Wellness Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we take a look at a topic that is of importance to your health. And this is why we call it a Wellness Wednesday. And today, we're going to be looking at the topic of Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. And I will explain what that means in a minute. But in the meantime, I would like to again welcome you all to the show and remind you that we are streaming live on Facebook, on the official Global 99.5 FM Facebook page, as well as the official Michelle Malcolm page on Facebook. And you can call into the show at 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, and the WhatsApp line for text messages only. Do I have the WhatsApp phone yet? You're going to get it for me? Okay. The WhatsApp line for text messages only is 801-0271. 801-0271. Boy, we had a show yesterday, eh? My God. It got a little crazy in here yesterday, but I survived, praise the Lord, and I got a lot of calls about yesterday's show. People seem to, maybe big drops, you're like foolishness, because a lot of people called saying how much they enjoyed the show and all this kind of stuff. So we're going to slow things down a bit today, but you know what? Typically on a Wellness Wednesday, y'all don't call me. And I can take it personal. I know it's because y'all are listening, but I want y'all to call more on a Wellness Wednesday so I don't feel like I am talking to myself, I'm here to answer whatever questions I can answer as best as I can as it relates to health today. So our topic today again is the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. And I'm talking specifically today about foods that we eat and some that we need to be very aware of as it relates to what could possibly be on those foods that we're eating. Because many of us are doing our best to eat healthier, eating more fruits and vegetables and trying hard to do the right thing. But unfortunately, more than 70% of the fresh produce sold In the United States today, for example, in their grocery stores, and we buy most of our food from them, contains harmful toxins. And what's even worse is that some of these toxins have been classified as potentially carcinogenic, meaning that they could potentially lead to cancer. I don't have to tell you all that the Bahamas has a very high rate of cancer. And whether it is because of the amount of fried foods and oils that we consume, or it's because the amount of toxins in our food, it could be a combination of both. It could be some other things, but certainly, the dirty dozen may have something to do with that. That the things that they're putting onto our foods, and I'm speaking specifically if you're not eating organic, you need to be aware of the things that can potentially be harming your health, even though you think you are eating healthier. So, according to researchers at the Environmental Working Group, which each year releases their Shopper's Guide to Pesticides in Produce, this guide includes the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. And they are two lists that analyze the Department of Agriculture's test data, this is the United States, to identify which fruits and vegetables are most and least contaminated. And so we're going to talk about these two lists today. And then we're going to more specifically talk about certain foods that carry, for instance, the most pesticides, the most glyphosate, which is another word for Roundup, which is a carcinogen, causes cancer, and is used profusely in the agricultural industry. And unfortunately, not just in the United States, but in the Western Hemisphere. Things like soy and corn and wheat are heavily sprayed with Roundup. So much so that there's this thing now called farmers' lymphoma. And they're finding where farmers and their family members are coming down with cancer, lymphoma, at a very high rate because they're being exposed to this glyphosate. And you would say, well, why their families? Because they're taking it home and they're growing. That's how bad it is. And so when you eat these foods that carry all these toxins, or if you eat meat that came from animals that these foods were fed to, because that's another consideration that you need to take in mind, then you are being exposed to these very dangerous toxins. Knowledge is only power if it's applied. And so I'm going to give you guys the knowledge today, and what you do with it is up to you. Okay? All right, so let's begin. This year's, and this is the list for 2022. Okay? So, with it being early in 2023, I guess it'll be updated a little later in the year. But the latest list available is the 2022 list, the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. This year's dirtiest foods were strawberries, spinach, and kale. Now, all three of those things are touted as being healthy, are they not? Everybody believes that strawberries are very, very healthy, and they are if they're organic. Same thing with kale and spinach. But those three top the list of the dirtiest foods in 2022. In one case, a single sample of kale was contaminated by 21 different pesticides, according to the report. 21 pesticides in a single sample of kale. Now, here it is. Kale is being touted as a very healthy cruciferous vegetable, and it is, without all the pesticides. But if you're not eating organic kale, one single serving was contaminated in this report with 21 different pesticides. Now, you may say, why are they putting all these chemicals on the foods? Well, they are trying to get the food from the field to your table looking healthy enough. And if the foods are being, as they're being grown, if they're being attacked by bugs, and, they spray them with these chemicals to try to keep the bugs off of them so that they can get them to your table looking pretty. But the only challenge is when they spray these things to keep off the bugs, they're not just killing the bugs, but they're killing you slowly too. So we got to talk about this today, y'all, because a lot of people are eating foods like kale, like spinach, like strawberries, and you are thinking you're doing a good thing, not realizing that the very healthy foods that you are eating are contaminated with all of these horrific chemicals that could be contributing to your ill health. Now, I don't want you to take this show as you should not eat strawberries and kale and spinach. Don't let this dirty dozen list put you off of your favorite fruits and vegetables, because you just gotta find a way to clean them. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GBS.
Hi, good afternoon, Michelle.
Hello.
Loving your show, of course. It's
Thank
very
you.
informative.
Thank you.
But I have to raise the point that when you say organic, I'm thinking of growing it myself.
That's right.
Because even though they put organic on the label,
Mhm.
it's not always the case. I read an article where research was showing that some of these companies that put organic on the label are doing the same things that your regular farmer does.
You're
And
absolutely
I
correct.
would always say err on the side of growing it yourself, because trust me, you're paying so much for the label organic at food source, and it's really not the same. So if you grow it yourself, that to me is authentically organic.
You are
Point that.
absolutely correct. And thank you for calling. We were going to get into that a little later in the show, what organic really means. But if you're growing it yourself, you know what you put on it. So the caller is absolutely correct. And we are going to talk a little bit later on in the show about what organic really means. Because even though it may say organic on the label, she's right, they may still be putting some stuff on there that could be detrimental to your health. If you grow it yourself, then you know what's on it and what's not on it. So again, I don't want you to believe that because I'm listing off these foods, that it means that you should never eat these foods again. Of course not. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? But I just need you to be aware that you can't go to the food store, buy these foods, rinse a little bit of water over it, and then start eating it. Because chances are you're still getting all of those chemicals and toxins into your system when you do it that way. And we're going to talk in the show about how to properly clean your fruits and vegetables. Okay, we're going to get to that. So, fruits and vegetables are critical components of a healthy diet. Toxicologist Thomas Galligan, PhD, says, we urge consumers who are concerned about their pesticide intake to consider, when possible, purchasing foods from the Clean 15 list. And we're going to get to those. The Clean 15 shows which fruits and veggies have the lowest concentration of pesticide residues. And it's good news for avocado lovers, because 99% of our avocado samples collected from grocery stores contain 0 pesticides. In fact, almost 75% of the fruits and vegetables on this year's Clean 15 showed no detectable pesticide residue whatsoever. So, avocado is something that grows quite a bit here in the Bahamas. And they're right, people don't generally go around spraying avocado trees. So avocado is definitely on the Clean 15 list. And if you love avocados, you're lucky. Good for you. But first, Um, you know what? Let's start with the good news first. Let's start with the clean 15 list first. First on the list, avocado. And again, these fruits and vegetables were the ones that were found with the least amount of pesticides on them. Okay? So, avocados, number one. Now, this next one is tricky. Sweet corn. Now, you gotta be very careful with corn because unless it's heirloom corn that you know where it come from, like you have a relationship with your local farmer or you grow it yourself, chances are, even though it may be low with pesticides, it is genetically modified. See, all these things you gotta look out for. Okay? You would be hard pressed to find any corn and soy in particular anywhere in the Western Hemisphere that has not been genetically modified. So even though corn is on the clean 15 list, I wouldn't run out and buy all the corn at the food store because chances are that corn has been genetically modified, which is equally as damaging. Okay? Next on the clean 15 list, pineapples. Hallelujah, because I love me some pineapple. And I guess one of the reasons is because pineapple has a thick skin. So by the time you cut through all that skin to get to the flesh, anything that would have been on it, doesn't penetrate that thick skin. So pineapples were one of the fruits found on the clean 15 list. Again, these are fruits and veggies with the least amount of pesticide residues, according to the report, the Environmental Working Group's report. Next on the list, red onions, or maybe onions in general. And the reason is because they are a root vegetable. So the onion, the part of the thing that we eat, is actually from under the ground. It's a root vegetable. And so you will find that root vegetables are usually safer than, say, vegetables above ground. So onions is the next one on the list. And one more is papayas. Papayas are on the clean 15 list. And papayas, for those of you who don't know, are very, very good for digestion. Excellent food for digestion. So that's good news for papaya lovers. Okay? So those are the first 5. Avocados, sweet corn, but understand that even though it may not have a lot of pesticides on it, it definitely is probably genetically modified. Pineapples, onions, and papayas. That's the first 5. Okay? So if you're eating any of those 5, and we're going to get through all 15 during the show as well as look at the dirty dozen, then you're in a good place, according to the report by the Environmental Working Group. These are foods that aren't overly, aren't dirty. And when we say dirty, we're talking about containing contaminants that could actually cause you to be unhealthy. So let's look at a couple more before we take a break. Another one that is good from the clean 15 list are sweet peas, frozen. Sweet peas from good. That's on the good food list, on the clean 15 list. Next is asparagus, honeydew melon, kiwi, and cabbage. These are foods that were found to be with the least amount of pesticide residues, according to the 2022 list of Environmental Working Group. So we're going to take a look at the last 5 on the other side of the break. And then we're going to talk about foods that have the most pesticides that you really, really need to look out for. Okay? So let's take this break. And then on the other side of the break, we're going to look at the last 5 foods from the Clean 15 list that are safer than others when it comes to the least amount of pesticide residues found on them. So let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue this show today, focusing on the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. We'll be back after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Glasses love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Roll 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. On this bonus Wednesday, we are streaming live on the official Global 99.5 FM Facebook page, as well as the official Michelle Malcolm Facebook page. You can call us at 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, or WhatsApp us 801-0271 for WhatsApp text messages only. We're also streaming live on YouTube, and you can catch us on Kilo Bahamas, channel 974. Okay, so today's show on this Wellness Wednesday, we're calling it The Dirty Dozen, and no, I'm not talking about the classic movie. When I was doing my research for today, I typed in Dirty Dozen, and this whole movie came up. I say, no, not that Dirty Dozen. I'm talking about the Dirty Dozen Foods and the Clean 15. And this is based on a report that is submitted every year by the Environmental Working Group out of the United States of America, where they list these foods that are either the cleanest out there as it relates to the amount of pesticide residues found on them, or the dirtiest as it relates to the same thing. So why is this important to you? Well, again, if you're eating these foods, even though they are touted as healthy foods, if they are loaded with pesticides, herbicides, and all the other sides by the way means death. So, pesticides, death to pests. Whenever you see side, that's not good. And these fruits and vegetables are being sprayed profusely with all of these pesticides and herbicides and every other kind of side that you can imagine. And when you bring them home and all you do is just, let the water run over them for half a minute, trust me, that's not enough. You gotta make an effort to really clean these. Okay? So we're looking at the Clean 15 list first. Again, you can do the good news first. And prior to the break, we talked about avocados, sweet corn, even though you need to be careful with corn because it's generally speaking genetically modified. One of my favorites, pineapples, onions, papayas, sweet peas, asparagus, honeydew melon, kiwi, and cabbage. Those are the first 10 on the 2022 Clean 15 list, as presented by the Environmental Working Group. So let's look at the last 5 on the Clean 15 list. Mushrooms. I'm happy to hear that because I love me some mushrooms. So mushrooms are on the Clean 15 list. Also are cantaloupes. If you eat a lot of cantaloupes, you're good and safe. Another one of my absolute favorites, oh thank God, mangoes. Mangoes are on the Clean 15 list. Yeah, not too many bugs attacking mangoes, or mango trees per se. So mangoes are good and safe, praise the Lord. Because if the mango was on the Dirty Dozen list, I think I would have cried on this show today, because you all know I love me some mangoes. And watermelon. Watermelon is on the Clean 15 list. Now, a small amount of sweet corn, papaya, and summer squash sold in the United States is produced from genetically modified seeds. Okay, so again, you need to be very careful, because even though they may not have a lot of pesticides on it, your body don't know what to do with it if it's genetically modified. And even though they said in this report a small amount of sweet corn, papaya, and summer squash, understand that you would be hard pressed to find sweet corn in particular, or soy, grown anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, as well as wheat, barley, rye, and oats. But corn and soy in particular, that is both genetically modified, and in some cases, depending on where it's grown, sprayed with Roundup. So even though sweet corn has landed on this list, be very aware of whether or not you're eating genetically modified sweet corn, okay? Because your body does not know what to do with genetically modified foods. As far as your body's concerned, That's not real food. So even though you think you're doing well by eating these foods that are genetically modified, your body does not know what to do with them. So you want to avoid genetically modified foods as much as possible. And yes, you want to go organic, but again, understanding what organic means. So buy organic varieties of these crops if you want to avoid genetically modified produce, but educate yourself to understand what true organic means. Some farms have actually been certified as organic or certified as non-GMO, and you will see some packaging on certain products in the food store that says certified non-GMO, because the Food and Drug Administration in the United States allows people in that sphere, in that sector, to get away with a lot in terms of labeling of foods. So educate yourself to know what organic really means, okay? But you want to go organic as much as possible to avoid all of the herbicides and pesticides and herbicides that are killing you. Less than 2% of avocados and sweet corn samples showed any detectable pesticides, and almost 70% of the clean 15 samples had no pesticide residues. So that's the good news. That is the good news. So again, I'll go over what those products are: avocados, sweet corn, pineapples, onions, papaya, sweet peas, asparagus, honeydew melons, kiwi, cabbage, mushrooms, cantaloupe, mango, watermelon, and sweet potatoes. I almost missed that one. Sweet potatoes, or what we call yams, sweet potatoes, are also on the clean 15 list. And again, that's a root vegetable, so that's growing beneath the ground. So yeah, that would make sense. All right, so those are the good boys. Now, we got to talk about the dirty dozen. Because there's a lot of foods on the dirty dozen list that you think are doing your body good. Here you are thinking that you're eating healthy. And lo and behold, these are some of the very foods that have so much pesticide residues on it that it's crazy what it could potentially do to your liver and to your health in general. So we have to talk about the dirty dozen, y'all. And these are the fruits and veggies with the most pesticide residues. So before I read off the list from the Environmental Working Group's Dirty Dozen, I'm going to play a clip. And this one is with our friendly Dr. Berg, and he is talking in this particular clip about the foods with the most pesticides. Here's what he had to say on the matter.
I wanted to cover what food is most exposed to pesticides and what is the least exposed, or the cleanest foods. Avocado, very clean. It is one of the foods that has the lowest exposure to pesticides. So if you're buying avocados and you see organic, which is crazy expensive, versus commercial, you might want to just get commercial because there's already low pesticides. Now, as far as the highest, raisins, which if you're on keto, you don't have to worry about that because you're not going to be consuming raisins. But look at strawberries. A lot of people on keto do strawberries. I would definitely go organic with that. Spinach, a lot of people on keto do that. A lot of pesticides. Kale, right? Of course, nectarines, apples, grapes, peaches, cherries, pears. You're not going to do that if you're on keto. But tomato and celery. And of course, you're not going to have to worry about potato. So these are definitely ones that I would make sure that they're organic. Okay, look at this. Cabbage, onion, frozen peas, asparagus, eggplant, cauliflower, and broccoli on the low side. And so if you're really on a budget and you really can't do everything organic, you know, maybe these are your best options.
All right, y'all saw some things on the list on the bad side that shocked you, right? Shocked me too. I was like, what? I love me some raisins and strawberries. I got some in my fridge right now. But we gonna talk about how you can clean them, don't worry. But there were some things on that list that were quite shocking. I was like, what? Lord have mercy. So anyway, knowledge is power only if applied. So I give you the knowledge today. What you decide to do with it, that on you. Okay, strawberries. I got a fridge full of strawberries, y'all. Love me some strawberries. Possibly second to mango, my favorite fruit. And my producer showing me he got eating the strawberries right now. But strawberries are on the dirty dozen list. And again, these are the fruits and veggies with the most pesticide residue if you are not eating organic. Scary, right? Yeah, I was so disappointed to find that out as well. I'm not telling you to have strawberries. I'm just telling you to go organic or find a way to clean them properly. And we're going to talk about how to do that. Next on the list, spinach. Yeah. Sorry, Popeye. Those of you who grew up watching Popeye cartoons, you know, Popeye used to love to swallow down that spinach and then the muscles used to grow. And yeah, Popeye. But see, I guess back in the day when we were children, Popeye didn't have to worry about all the pesticides and herbicides that they use on the spinach today. So he was good. But nowadays, they're killing you with all of these chemicals that they are spraying on these foods. And bugs, obviously, like some leafy vegetables more than others. And so they try to kill these bugs because they know you ain't going to buy the spinach if it's got a bunch of holes in it. So they spray it up with a bunch of stuff to kill all the bugs. But then you eating that. And so just how it is killing off the bugs, it will kill off you as well. It might take a little longer. But yeah, it's not good. Kale and collard greens. Oh, Lord. I'm not so much of a kale fan. I mean, you know, I'll eat it. But I love collard greens. Absolutely love collard greens. If you come across somebody who knows how to cook some collard greens, man, look here. I talk in that southern style collard greens with the, you cook that down and throw the bacon in there. Man, look here. I love me some collard greens. Huh? Collard greens loaded with pesticides. And again, this is produce that comes from large commercial farms. So either grow it yourself or get to know your farmer in the local farmers market, visit their farm, whatever you got to do to find out what they're doing. Or do your best to clean it properly. And we will talk in this show about what you need to do to clean these fruits and vegetables. Next on the list of the dirty dozen, nectarines. Nectarines are among the fruits and vegetables that have the most pesticide residues according to the Environmental Working Group's list for 2022. Next on the list, apples. Yes, apples. You ever buy an apple and it has like this white film on it, like a wax type of thing? You know that ain't naturally a part of the apple, right? You know apples don't grow with a white film on it, right? You know that means that something has been sprayed on that, right? Yeah. Apples are on the dirty dozen list, people. And I know some of you out there are looking at me with your side eye right now, sucking your teeth. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. And it's up to you to do what you want to do with it. But yeah, apples are on the list. Next up, and it's just as expensive as these are, these don't need to be on no dirty dozen list. Grapes. You see how much grapes gone up to the food store as of late? I pick up a bag of grapes the other day. I mentioned the food store name. I go and pick up a bag of grapes. I didn't even bother to look at the price when I picked them up. Then I get to to the counter to pay. I said, my God, so I said, Miss, what I have when I look at the price of the grapes, was about $18 for a bag of grapes. I said, Miss, take them off that list, please. I put them right back. $18 for a bag of grapes? Y'all got to be crazy. But now, I'm glad I put them back. Because they're on the dirty dozen list. I bought some grapes the other day. I told y'all I go now to get my fruits and vegetables cheaper. I clean all of my fruits and vegetables before I consume them. And so I bought a bag of grapes and I put them in the thing that I clean them. And we can talk about it later, what I used to clean. I was shocked that the color changed in the cleaning solution. I was like, oh my God. I was shocked to see how much was on those grapes. Now, most people get the grapes, run it under the water for 20 seconds, and then they pump them in their mouth. That's not enough, people. You're getting pesticides in your system that are killing you slowly, but killing you all the same. And it could very well be coming from your grapes. And these are the things on this list. So, again, giving you the knowledge, what you do with it is on you. Next on the list of the dirty dozen, bell and hot peppers. Now, you all know the Bahamians we like to cook with what we call sweet pepper, right? We love a sweet pepper in our food. Whether it's green or yellow or orange or red, we love to cook with sweet peppers. But sweet peppers, or as they're known elsewhere, bell peppers, and hot peppers are among the dirtiest foods according to the list for 2022 from the Environmental Working Group. And again, these are fruits and vegetables that have the most pesticide residues when tested. Who knew? Now, Claudette, I don't know if you tuned in late. Claudette is asking, what about organic apples? Claudette, we're talking, when we talk about the dirty dozen list, non-organic. So organic should be better, but again, you have to be very careful because even if it says organic sometimes, because the threshold is so low with the FDA, that there may still be some stuff on there that you don't want to eat. So you want to clean it anyway, even if it says organic. Okay? Don't. And you know what? Some of these things come packaged and they say, wash 3 times, so it can get washed 4 times. I ain't trust you telling me to wash this 3 times, because I know to wash it with. I don't know how long you wash it, so I can wash it again. And the solution that I use to clean my stuff. Don't trust what they say on that package. Okay? It's better to be safe than sorry. It's better to have your food extra clean than you going according to what they say on the package, and their package is misleading. Because remember now, the threshold is very low based on the requirements of the FDA. So make sure that you are taking active steps to ensure that you're cleaning your fruits and vegetables yourself. Okay? Next on the list of the dirty dozen, cherries. I ain't talking Bahamian cherries, what you grow in your own yard. I'm talking about the cherries that they sell in the food store. Okay? Loaded with chemicals, pesticides. Loaded. So, again, if you're going to be eating them, make sure that they are organic and still make sure that you are adequately cleaning them. Okay? You want to make sure you're doing that. Next on the list of the dirty dozen, peaches. Who loves peaches? Who doesn't love peaches? Well, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but those peaches are on the dirty dozen list. So again, you've got to make sure you do what you got to do and make sure that this is as clean as you can get it. And they'll talk about what you can use. Number 10 on the list of the dirty dozen, pears, not avocado, because you know the Bahamas we call avocado pear. No, I'm talking about pear. You know, they're on the dirty dozen list. And this is a big one. Celery. We say celery is one of the dirtiest vegetables out there. Loaded with pesticides. And Bahamians, that's another thing we love to cook with celery. You better make sure you clean it up well, because it's loaded with pesticides. And finally, it's another one we like to cook with a lot here in the Bahamas. And this may come as a surprise to some of you. Tomatoes. Yes, tomatoes. Tomatoes have landed on the dirty dozen list for 2022. Again, if you're growing it yourself, then you know what you put on that. So that's a little safer than you're buying tomatoes out of the food store. Or if you're not one that has a green thumb, again, get to know your farmer in the farmer's market to make sure that they are, in fact, growing these foods without using all of these chemicals that are slowly killing us. So strawberries and spinach were the worst offenders for the 6th straight year on this list. Strawberries and spinach. Can you imagine? Both of those are supposed to be healthy, right? Well, they were the worst offenders for the 6th straight year. Unbelievable. A single sample of kale, collard, and mustard greens, I forgot to mention mustard greens earlier. A single sample serving of kale, collard, and mustard greens had up to 21 different pesticides. My God. 21. Can you imagine? And you eating that salad thinking, this is a good thing I do and a good thing for my body. And these people poisoning us. So, we need to understand how the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 ranked. The United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, and the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, test thousands of samples of produce sold in American grocery stores, and the environmental working group analyzes the samples to determine which produce has the most pesticide residues, which are then called the Dirty Dozen, and which has the least pesticide residues, which are called the Clean 15. So to compare pesticide contamination on each food, the Environmental Working Group uses the following 6 measures. The percentage of samples tested with detectable pesticides, the total number of pesticides found on the sample, the percentage of samples with 2 or more detectable pesticides, the average number of pesticides found on a single sample, the average amount of pesticides found measured in parts per million, and the maximum number of pesticides found on a single sample. That's how they're measured. But remember that the Clean 15 only ranks fruits and vegetables based on pesticide residue. It doesn't account for bacteria, which builds up very fast in busy grocery stores. So before avocados, bananas, and cherries end up in your basket, You should know that they've been squeezed, sniffed, handled by dozens of people, maybe even hundreds of other shoppers. And who knows what they have on their hands. So you still want to go ahead and give your produce a good wash when you get them at home from the store. Just because they land on this Clean 15 list doesn't mean that you can't or should not do your due diligence in cleaning your fruits and vegetables. So we're going to take a quick break, and then on the other side, we're going to look at the most used pesticide in fruits and vegetables, and then we're also going to have to take a look at glyphosate or Roundup, because that kills many people too. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here in your company on this Wellness Wednesday. We're talking about the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. The telephone numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. WhatsApp us at 8010271, 8010271. And of course, you can check out the live stream on Facebook. We're streaming on the Global 99.5 FM Facebook page, as well as the Michelle Malcolm Facebook page. And you can also find us on Cable Bahamas on channel 877-888-74. So make sure you tune in, like and share the show. Let everybody know that GPS is on the air and we're talking about a matter that is important to your health today on this Wellness Wednesday. So, I know you're like drama and dropsiness and things. So yesterday we had all kind of people watching the show. This is equally, or not more so important, because we're talking about the health of the nation. And whether you realize it or not, the health of the nation is the wealth of the nation. If your nation is so burdened down with trying to take care of sick people to the point where it has become a burden on the public purse, and be there now, then perhaps you should spend more time paying attention to getting your people healthier. That's my philosophy. And the Bahamas is among the sickest nations in the world when it comes to obesity, when it comes to heart disease, cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, you name it, we up there. Per capita, we up there. And so I think these Wellness Wednesday shows are extremely important because we're giving you information to hopefully help you to walk the path of a healthier life. And I don't care how much money you have. If your health is poor, you might as well not have any money at all. Just ask Steve Jobs. Oh, you can't because he's dead. All the money in the world he had couldn't save him when it came to his health going south. So let's spend more time focusing on how to get our people healthier. Okay, that's what the Wellness Wednesday shows are all about. So we're talking about the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, foods that have the most residue of pesticides and herbicides and other sides that are killing us slowly, and the foods that are not so much contaminated with all of these horrible chemicals. So prior to the break, we were talking about the foods that have the most pesticides. Well, there's one particular pesticide that is used more so than any other, and you need to be aware of what that is. Here again is Dr. Berg. In this clip, he's talking about the most used pesticide in the agriculture sector.
Let's talk about the most widely used pesticide in the world. Now, it's really hard to pronounce, but chances are you probably have it in your body right now. Chlorpyrifos. It's on your fruit, it's in your vegetables, it's on the golf courses, and they detected this pesticide in 90% of US households. But it's in Europe as well, but it's been banned in several European countries, as well as several states in the US. I think it was California, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. There might have been one more. It's in your soy, the corn, the apples, cilantro, bell peppers, snap peas, peaches, you name it, it's all over the place. And here's the problem. If you compare this to glyphosate, which is an herbicide which kills weeds, this pesticide kills pests and insects, which means that it affects more animals and humans, which is a little different than a chemical that kills weeds. And there is no acceptable dose to avoid brain damage. In a study in 2016, 9 out of 10 children and mothers had this chemical in their body on urine samples, and I think it was actually in fat cells. There's been some interesting studies in relationship between this chemical and increased risk of autism. But of course, if you read up on the internet, they're going to talk about the safety. It was involved in 4,000 different studies, but many of these studies were sponsored by the industry that made this chemical. But what's really mind-blowing is that there's 34,000 different pesticides that are registered by the EPA. There are so many chemicals in our environment. And there are 85,000 more that are regulated separately for other purposes. So my point being is it's going to be impossible to avoid these chemicals. Yes, you need to do organic, but there's something else that you need to realize. Your liver and other organs make an enzyme that help you detoxify these chemicals naturally. It's part of the phase 1, phase 2 detoxification enzyme system. And as long as you keep your body healthy and consume things like cruciferous vegetables on a regular basis, that can greatly help you prevent these chemicals from accumulating. And one last important thing, and I've talked about this many times in other videos, is fasting. Fasting increases your ability to detoxify these chemicals. So those are the 2 tips for today. Start consuming cruciferous and start fasting.
Okay, so 34,000 pesticides. Did you hear that number? And then more than twice that amount of other chemicals that are used for other purposes. My God, that is a frightening thought. It's like they are all out trying to kill us. And yeah, you know, Michelle, you've been dramatic, and these things are necessary for the food industry. Well, are they? Are they really? I don't think that they are. Well, it says, wow, that's a lot of chemicals. It certainly is. And all those toxins are getting into your system. And is there any wonder why we have so much sickness? Because on top of that, on top of all of these toxins that are being introduced to our foods and therefore into our bodies, and you're dealing with other things, like the way we prepare our foods, that are contributing to the problem as well. So you see why we have such a big problem with sickness? I mean, this is just a part of the puzzle. This is just a piece of the puzzle. But it's a very important piece that you understand. Because if you don't arm yourself with knowledge, you will be innocently eating these things, thinking that you're doing well. Meanwhile, you're poisoning yourself slowly but surely. And unfortunately, as he would have mentioned in that last clip, you can't trust a report if the people who are writing the report are the ones who are producing the chemicals. Like, make it make sense. You can't trust somebody who's policing themselves. So if you're writing the report saying, all these chemicals aren't going to harm you, but then you're making the chemicals, I'd be a little skeptical about how honest you're being. How honest you are being. Because obviously you have a horse in the race. You got stake in the game. And if you're producing the chemicals, ain't no fisherman that's called their fish tank. So you're producing these chemicals, and then you can try to convince me that, well, yeah, they may kill bugs, but they ain't gonna do you nothing. Okay. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't just fall off the turnip truck. You don't have to be a genius to figure out that something ain't adding up there. So yeah, we gotta be more intelligent about the way that we take responsibility for our own health. I keep saying this. You can't just swallow stuff that they shove down your throat, because 9 times out of 10 they ain't telling you the truth, or they're not telling you the whole truth. 34,000 pesticides out there that they are allowed to use on your foods. How do you get away from that? It's pretty difficult. But this show today is hopefully going to give you some hope to know that there are some things you can do to fight back, to keep you and your family safer than if you are all out using these or eating these foods, consuming these foods, not knowing the danger that is associated with those foods because of the stuff that they're doing to them. Okay, so we talked about the pesticides. Now let's turn our attention to another big problem in the food industry, the food sector, glyphosate, better known as Roundup. It's an herbicide. And remember, side means death, herb, so this one kills weeds, whereas pesticides kill pests, herbicides kill weeds. So glyphosate is very widely used throughout the Western Hemisphere on certain foods like wheat, barley, rye, oats, corn, soy. And this is so much used that the herbs, the weeds themselves have become resistant to the chemical to the degree where now they have to do even more. They have to spray even more of the chemical on these foods to be effective because the herbs, the weeds have learned to become resistant. So they're spraying with even more now. And as a result, they now have a condition called farmer's lymphoma, where farmers in large numbers are coming down with this cancer that is being traced back to the high use of glyphosate. Because let's face it, they may be sitting up on their big tractors, but that thing is spraying and it's getting into the air, and it's therefore, they breathe it in, and it's getting into their lungs, getting into the skin, it's getting into their bodies. And then it's getting all over their clothing. And so they go home and, their families are exposed to it. And the result is that their families are coming down with this cancer, farmer's lymphoma. So imagine you who are eating these foods that are so heavily sprayed with this thing. If they are getting that much disease just from indirect contact, when I say indirect, just breathing some of it in that is in the air, or getting on somebody's clothing that they bring home with them, and you coming out with cancer. Imagine us who eating these foods that are sprayed with this stuff. Is there any wonder then that our people are battling cancer so much? Oftentimes people come from homes and when they hear with the cancer rate, it's like, oh my God, what y'all doing over here? But 95% of the food that we eat is imported. So we import this poison into the country. And so this is not a good thing. So in this next clip, we're switching our attention from pesticides to herbicides. You know the difference. Pesticides kill pests, herbicides kill weeds. Herb is side. Side is death, herb is plant. So the herbicide kills weeds. But in spite of what the reports say that were written by the people who produce the chemicals, don't let them swing y'all. They will have you to believe that, oh, this isn't going to do you anything because this is formulated to kill plants, not people. Yeah, if you believe that, I have a really good fire sale on the Paradise Island Bridge. Let me know if you're interested in buying that. Because if you believe that, I can swing you into buying anything. Understand, people, that this is having an impact on your health. So now, let's take a look at foods that have the most glyphosate. Again, here's Dr. Eric Berg.
Let's talk about the food with the highest glyphosate, or Roundup. Take a wild guess. What do you think it is? Almonds. Yeah, almonds. Now, I think a lot of people have a confusion between this herbicide and GMO. When they make certain foods GMO, like canola, corn, soy, and cotton, they resist this pesticide. Now, just because they resist the pesticide doesn't mean they're not going to spray this chemical on that food, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to kill off the weeds around that plant. And that's the only plant that lives. But you're not resistant to glyphosate, only the plant is. So you're going to be consuming this plant and you're going to be getting that in your body. But they spray this herb on other things too. So the foods that are exposed the most would be almonds, then apples, then apricots, then asparagus, then canola, cherry, corn, cotton. Now you'd say, well, I don't eat cotton. Yeah, but you put cotton on your body. And also cotton is in tampons, which go inside the body. Dates, grapes, and soy. Now, one of the big problems nowadays is that these weeds that they're spraying to kill with this glyphosate are becoming also resistant to Roundup. So that means they have to spray it more and more and more. So our bodies are becoming more exposed to this herbicide. What can you do about it? Well, organic, okay, but this doesn't guarantee you that it's going to be completely free of this pesticide, because there has been some tests done that showed that just because it's organic doesn't mean it's 100%. Farmers market, so where you know the farmer and you trust the farmer and you know they don't spray, that might be a better option if you're around a farmer's market. And also consuming a good amount of organic cruciferous in your diet to help to eliminate the accumulation of this herbicide. Now, here's the question. What's more important, to do organic or to do low carb? Doing low carb is the most important thing, and then cleaning up the quality of those calories would be the second most important thing to do.
Okay, so I know a couple of you may be a little confused, those of you who really pay attention, because you're saying, wait, asparagus, didn't you just say that that was on the clean list? Remember now, the clean 15 list was testing for pesticides. Remember? That list was testing for pesticide residue. Glyphosate is an herbicide. So you may find something that would have landed on the clean list, but we're still talking about having a high degree of herbicides. That's because the clean list and the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 list, they were only testing for pesticides. Okay? So you gotta be careful, because it's not just pesticides that you have to be concerned about. You gotta be concerned about the herbicides as well, like the glyphosate, which is another name for Roundup. It's the same Roundup that you go into the store, you buy, and you use on your lawn to kill the weeds. Yeah. That's what they're putting on our foods. And so you gotta go organic, people, and making sure that it is certified organic. In other words, it goes through a process. You know, certain farms that have gone through a process to be certified as truly organic. Because anybody could slap the word organic on their packaging nowadays, because there's such a low threshold of qualification as to what should qualify as organic. But if it says certified, then you know it would have gone through a process that farm would have gone through a process to receive that certification. Okay? So become an expert label reader and look for foods that were grown on certified organic fields or farms. There's a big difference. Okay? Better yet, grow it yourself, or get to know your local farmer and make sure that they're not using all of these horrible chemicals that are making us sicker. This is what you have to do. It's almost like you have to understand, it's almost like you are at war with the Food and Drug cartel. We got a war going on, people. It's us against them. I hate to put it that way, but sometimes that's how it seems. Because I'm not sure, it may be in one of the clips that I chose today, but to see the stuff that they allow in certain foods that we're eating, it's like, come on, guys. So, like for instance, certain, I believe it's hot dogs, there is a legal amount or a legal threshold of rodent hairs that they will allow in these processed meats. So what I tell you, I don't know the last time you see a rat taking a shave. So if they say, well, this particular meat that you allowed to have a certain number of rodent hairs, if that's legal, then you know you got a rodent in that meat because rats don't take shaves. So in other words, they say it's okay if you got one or two rodents that get mixed up in that. That's okay. We're gonna overlook that. Boy, look here. This is a war, y'all. We at war. Whether you realize it or not, we are at war when it comes to protecting the health of yourself and your family. And some of you are blindly trusting the very people, whatever report they come out with, you're quick to copy the link and put it in the group and say, see, this report say this, not realizing that the report is written by the very people who making the chemicals who are killing you. So we gotta get smarter. And we have to understand what it is that we're dealing with and understand that you are at war. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GDS.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
So just to answer what you're talking about, right? Benzene. I mean, benzene is the chemical causing agent that's found in gasoline as a petroleum product.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, people who work around gas station, mechanic shop in particular, you go to a mechanic shop and you see them washing cars in gas, or washing their hands in gas,
Mm-hmm.
or even the gas pump attendants, when they are pumping fuel into your car, you see that fuel that comes with the
Yep.
Well, that goes into their skin.
Mm-hmm.
That goes into their clothes. So when they go home and they wash their clothes in the washing machine, you now put that in all your household skin.
Right.
Because when you wash your clothes, now it goes into everybody's clothes.
Mm-hmm.
That goes into their skin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So benzene is another thing in addition to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I think that's what gas station attendants and people that work around the petroleum industry that need to be made aware of. Benzene, it's very dangerous. You know, and I heard you say a threshold. Threshold is not the word that you're looking for. It's permissible.
Mm.
Because every what they would say that permissible is
Yeah.
permissible amount.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So
You're right.
I just think that the gas industry
Mm-hmm.
and the guys that work in the mechanic shop, you know, wear your gloves, wear the proper protective clothes to protect yourself and protect your family against benzene.
Mm-hmm.
You know, benzene is something that has happened today or tomorrow. That creeps on you 5, 10, 15, 20 years later. That's what you're talking about.
Yep. It takes a while, but it adds up.
Yeah. And
you know,
I think that's the problem with not the problem because it don't happen right away.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody think, it'll be okay. But it comes from you. 10, 15, 20 years, it comes from you. When you leave the industry and you already move on to something different or you in your retirement days and you wonder, how did I get this cancer? How did I get this?
Mm-hmm.
Something you did 20 years ago. The industry you did 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right, caller. Absolutely right.
Okay, I think that was a show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling in and making that valuable contribution. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. Things that we take for granted and we think, oh, this little bit ain't that great. That's no, you are, and you're doing it over years. And then you're wondering why you're coming out these strange cancers years later. We have war, people, and we have to be wiser in the way that we approach this. Because too many of us are dying, I dare say, prematurely, or having a diminished quality of life because we didn't heed the warnings or just didn't know any better. Don't rely on the system to do it for you because more times than not, the system is compromised. They are being controlled by big pharma. You know, I do health talks for groups from time to time. One of the videos that I play in my health talks is a video talking about the proliferation of genetically modified foods. And one of the things that they talk about in that video is the fact that the pharmaceutical companies have been buying out the seed companies. Now, why is it that a company that produces chemicals is buying out seeds? I want you to think about that while we take this next call. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good. How are you today?
Not too bad. I was just driving listening to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And wanted to call them concerning these pesticides and herbicides.
Right.
I didn't know there were so many, 34,000.
That's a lot.
But when it comes to the herbicide, you have two types. You have the selective and the non-selective one.
Mm-hmm.
The selective herbicides, they go after particular types of what you call weeds.
Mm-hmm.
And it would leave other plants, such as, let's talk about your grass. You ever heard something called weed and feed?
Called what?
Weed and feed. It's a fertilizer you put on the grass. It don't kill the grass, but it kills the weed in between.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's called selective.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, that's about 100 different types of weeds it would target.
Mm-hmm.
And then the non-selective is basically the type of herbicide that once it contacts chlorophyll, that's what it goes after, killing the chlorophyll molecule.
Right.
And that's why some people, when they spray, and it's windy, you'll get that drip, and the drip is on the plant, and then you wonder why all these plants get these brown spots on it. Again, that's the non-selective type of herbicide.
Okay.
But I'm so glad that you're bringing all this up to the front because everything now is just so contaminated.
Yeah.
There was a study that came out the other day that shocked me from Florida concerning the bonefish. Did you hear about that?
Yes. The bonefish on more drugs than the fellas on the street.
And all that is from the sewage.
Stuff being dumped into the water, yeah.
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 From tanks that go down into the deep well, that go out into the ocean. Then the fish now getting all the drugs, diabetes medicine. So everything really is connected, you know, when you think about it.
Yeah.
We're going back to the old days, when you look at the old days when they used to farm, they had slash and burn method.
Yeah.
You get your potassium right from there.
What we call ash is really minerals.
Ash, right?
Yeah.
Ash is ash, right?
Yeah.
It's like mineral combined with oxygen and burn.
Right.
But also, the good old days, you know what the insecticide was mainly for everything?
Say that again?
In the good old days, when they didn't have all these
chemicals.
You know what they used to use?
What?
Dish soap.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that saved so many crops because of the soap itself. It would suffocate the insects. They breathe. You know, insects, they breathe through their body or traces. The ones that soap gets in there, that basically kills them.
Okay. Okay.
And this is the more safer thing to use. And so basically, if you have a home garden, you use the old dishwater and
Never heard that one before.
Yeah, well, that's getting closer. Rather than getting all of these organochemicals,
right,
glutathione and biogenol and this type of thing. Even though they're very effective, but they have metals, heavy metals in it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for calling.
You're welcome, and thank you.
All right. No worries. So you know what? There's a product that Longevity has called Bloomin' Minerals. And Bloomin' Minerals is minerals that you put back into the soil so that whatever grows from that soil it gives you more yield, it gives you a healthier product, etc. And they have found that when you add minerals back to the soil, that is almost like a repellent to certain pests. They don't like foods that are rich in minerals. So if you're adding the minerals back to the soil, that is also a very good way to keep down all of the pests that they now find it necessary to keep spraying to kill. So it's like with our grandparents, but they had some good wisdom. Now, whether they knew that this is what they were doing or not, I ain't sure, but they had some good wisdom. So yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. On the other side of the break, we're going to be talking about what to do if you have been exposed to glyphosate. Trust me, you have. How do we get this stuff out of our bodies? And then we're going to be talking about what to do and how to clean your fruits and vegetables and the need to go organic. All of that and more straight ahead on GPS.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy, with mailboat to US addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. On this Wellness Wednesday, we're talking about the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. The telephone numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. WhatsApp is 8010271, 8010271. Streaming live on Facebook on the Global 99.5 FM page, as well as the Michelle Malcolm official page. And you can catch us on Cable Bahamas, channel 974. Like and share the show. Let everybody know that we are on the air and we are talking about matters that pertain to your health on this Wellness Wednesday. So I have a comment from Facebook. Claudette says, the saddest part of all of this is I don't think they eat or feed their kids these foods, fruits and vegetables. Shake my head. Well, this is for those of you who do try to eat healthier. This information is for you who are eating these foods, okay? The folks who don't, that's another show altogether. That's another topic. All right, so how do you remove this stuff from your body? Because trust me, you've been exposed. You've been exposed. 34,000 pesticides, you've been exposed. And if you've been exposed, it means that this could be impacting the health of your liver and other organs in your body. So what do we need to do to get this poison out of our system? Check out this video from Dr. Eric Berg, who will discuss exactly that.
So I recently had a question from someone that wanted to know how to remove glyphosate from your body. Is it possible? How can we do it naturally? Now, of course, glyphosate is the poison in GMO foods, okay? So there are certain natural things that you can take to remove it. But the best thing to do is just to start doing organic. And I'm talking about meats as well, because the animals eat the corn and the soy, which is totally GMO. So it creates a problem. Dandelion greens, you can get this usually at the health food store or a grocery store. It's very fibrous, but you can put a little bit in your salad. It will help. You can also get it as a supplement. Barberry, burdock, activated charcoal. And I'm not talking about the charcoal that you would use when you're going on a barbecue. Okay, so you want activated charcoal, which doesn't have any chemicals in it. And bentonite clay, you'd want to take both of these on an empty stomach. And by the way, activated charcoal in general is really good for countering poisons. So if you happen to run into a situation where someone's being poisoned, give them some activated charcoal real fast to help neutralize that effect. Okay, humic and fulvic acid is a really good one. I really like this one right here. It can help remove glyphosate from your system. Now you'll also see some data out there that glyphosate is harmless on our bodies. It only affects plants and weeds and microbes because it targets a very specific pathway. Well, guess what? We have microbes in our body, like a lot of microbes. So our microbes are affected by glyphosate, and it blocks the microbes' ability to make amino acids, proteins. like in neurotransmitters, and it creates all sorts of problems in our body because we're constantly exchanging with our microbes and we get certain byproducts from them. And if we shut down those microbes, everything suffers. Our immune system, our ability to absorb nutrients. Also, glyphosate chelates zinc and other trace minerals. And we need zinc and other trace minerals for all sorts of cofactors in our metabolism, especially for our immune system. Glyphosate also weakens the adrenal system. Okay, so not to mention a whole series of other issues, setting you up for risk for cancer and tumors, and the list goes on and on. Number one, make sure you do organic everything. And these are a few other things you can add to extract some of this chemical from the body.
Good information to have. Because as you would have heard, it's your liver, your immune system. It just is not a good thing to have these chemicals in your body. And don't let anybody swing you and tell you, oh, that ain't really doing humans nothing. Because I don't think when God designed our bodies that he put anything in there to say, well, you're allowed to observe a certain amount of toxins. That doesn't sound right to me. I know it sounded yours, but that don't sound right to me. And again, we gotta be smart enough not to take the word of these people who create the reports when they themselves are making the very chemicals, but they're reporting on. You gotta be smarter than that, people. So understand where this information is coming from as it relates to some of these reports that they have out there, trying to convince you that this stuff is not harmful to the human body. And then be wise, make wiser decisions. Because he said it again and again. You need to go organic. What does that mean? What does that look like? What does it really mean to go organic? One more time before we take our next break, and then we'll talk about how to clean your fruits and vegetables. Here is Dr. Berg one more time as to whether or not it makes a difference if you go organic.
So today I want to answer the question, do you really need to be 100% organic? Okay, well, I'm going to let you be the judge, but I just want to give you the data. First of all, organic means without the pesticides, the herbicides, the fungicides, the insecticides. So GMO is what's called Roundup Ready, which means it can resist the herbicide Roundup, okay? And all the other weeds die, because these are weed killers, but the soy and the corn and the cottonseed and the canola do not die, okay? But they still have contaminants of the Roundup, which is poisonous to our environment and our own bodies. Now, we have the animal products who are fed the grains that are GMO, and of course you will have residues of this Roundup in that as well. So the question is, what are the dangers of all these things? Well, I just happen to have this book right here, Toxicology, okay, which is the study of poisons. There's a lot of interesting data on how chemicals in the environment poison our bodies and cause all sorts of things, including cancer. That's the big one. But thank goodness there are other foods out there like cruciferous vegetables that will help reverse the process and undo it and protect you. So these vegetables have certain properties that help turn these poisons into harmless particles, and that would be kale, radish, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. Okay, so the question is, how much of this are you consuming versus how much of this are you being exposed to? Okay, so consuming these foods will definitely lower the impact of what these poisons will create in your body. So here's another point. If you're doing intermittent fasting and you're not eating 6 meals a day, you might have a little extra to invest in more expensive organic, increase the quality, and that way avoid these things, because after all, this is really your health insurance. It's so funny, you get health insurance, which is thousands of dollars per month, and it really is all about waiting till you get an illness, then take a drug to try to patch it up. What's missing in healthcare is the health part. So this is true health insurance.
All right, real health insurance. Not getting sick in the first place. That makes sense to me. Okay, we're going to take our final break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about how you clean all of this stuff up. Okay? There's a good way And not so good way to clean your fruits and vegetables. We're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims fence and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this Wellness Wednesday. We were talking about the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. So you've gotten a lot of information there about all the icky stuff that is all over your fruits and vegetables. Well, there is something you can do about it. There is a way to clean your fruits and vegetables. So the produce in the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 list were peeled and rinsed in cold water before testing to mimic how people would prepare food for themselves at home. And this shows that washing your produce doesn't remove all the pesticides, but the Environmental Working Group states that unwashed produce will contain more pesticides than washed produce. So it's important to wash your produce. Well, what's the most effective way to wash your produce, you may ask? Well, here are a few tips. That's a call for the show. Caller, let's make it real quick. I only got 10 minutes left and a lot of information to cover. Welcome to the show.
Hi, sorry to call about it here. 13 years ago, my family and I started practicing the Presbyterian lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And what that is people who want to eat seafood.
Okay.
And the reason why, I had the opportunity to visit a poultry farm in Savannah, and I was informed of the chemicals that they put just to keep those chickens healthy. Not just the chemicals, the antibiotics they use.
Right.
So they would inject the chicken with chemicals to grow it, then they put antibiotics to keep it healthy.
Right.
And we wonder why we get sick and people die from these crazy diseases and so forth.
Yeah.
But, by practicing the Presbyterian lifestyle,
Caller, I don't mean to cut you off, but I only got 9 minutes left, and I got a lot of information to cover. I want to tell people how to clean their fruits and vegetables. If you don't mind, let me get back to that, please, because my time is running short, okay? And we'll accommodate you another time about that particular lifestyle. But I really want to get this information out to the public. Okay, so there's some do's and don'ts when it comes to how to clean your fruits and vegetables. Do: wash your hands with warm water and soap for 20 seconds before and after prepping fruits and vegetables. Don't: wash fruit and veggies with soap or detergent. Do: rinse your produce under running water before you peel or cut it to prevent any bacteria transferred from a knife to the produce. Don't use an abrasive brush on delicately skinned fruit. Do soak produce with ridges and crevices like broccoli and cauliflower for a few minutes longer. Do for produce with thick skin, use a gentle vegetable brush to help lift away additional pesticides and microbes. Do dry your fruits and vegetables after you finish rinsing. And no, you don't need to buy any commercial produce washes. It's not safe since the skin of your favorite fruits and vegetables is likely to be porous. So here is what you can use. I personally use white vinegar. White vinegar is excellent. But here is another non-toxic wash that you can use. And once again, here is Dr. Berg.
I've been asked this question quite often, so I'm going to do a video on it. What is the best non-toxic vegetable wash? Okay. Well, the answer is hydrogen peroxide. Let me explain. What's unique about hydrogen peroxide is that it's H2O2 and it breaks down into water and oxygen. And our body actually makes it. Our immune cells, called phagocytes, actually make hydrogen peroxide as a defense mechanism. That's one of their weapons that they use to kill off pathogens, okay? So the unique thing about hydrogen peroxide is that it can kill off microbes and it can remove, to a very large degree, the chemicals that kill off microbes, like insecticides, fungicides, herbicides, and pesticides. So side means kill insects, kill funguses, kill weeds, kill pests. So hydrogen peroxide has the ability to degrade and get rid of the chemicals as well as the microbes. The problem with being exposed to these poisons is that they're fat soluble and they get locked into our fat cells, into our organs, into our neurological tissue and our brain. And even if you're doing organic vegetables, they still use some form of pesticide or herbicide or fungicide. It's obviously not as toxic, but sometimes they use certain things. So hydrogen peroxide is a really good solution. There are other things you can use, but I like hydrogen peroxide because it breaks down into water and oxygen. Now, the thing you need to know about hydrogen peroxide is you have food grade and you have regular hydrogen peroxide. I don't recommend getting the regular hydrogen peroxide. That would be something that they would sell at the drugstore. The problem with that is they add stabilizers and probably roughly around 4 chemicals to help stabilize hydrogen peroxide, and those are toxic. And so we don't want those residues in our food. So you want to get food grade. But the thing about hydrogen peroxide is it's very unstable. So it doesn't last a long time. So if you actually buy hydrogen peroxide, it may last 6 months, then eventually breaks down into water and oxygen. Now, when you buy the food grade, sometimes it comes in 35% concentration. You'd want to get the one that actually is 3% because 35% is very, very, very concentrated. So you'd have to dilute that and then dilute it again before using it in this wash. So if you just buy the 3%, it's going to be a lot easier. Then you're going to dilute this by a ratio of 1/4 of a cup of food grade hydrogen peroxide to 1 gallon of water, okay? And then you can soak your vegetables in there for about 20 minutes. And then you can dry them out and you can store them in the refrigerator. Now, hydrogen peroxide can be used for a lot of different things. A mouthwash. It can be used to help remove tartar because it kills biofilms, okay? That's plaquing on your teeth. Some people use it as a deodorant. And of course, I'm talking about diluting it first, okay? Not a higher concentration. You're gonna burn your skin. You can use it as a disinfectant. Let's say, for example, you want to clean your counter or cooking surfaces. It's great for that. It's good for ear infections, sore throats. You can gargle with it, acne, athlete's foot, and the list goes on and on and on. Like I said before, hydrogen peroxide is a very good thing to use because when you apply it correctly, it can be very non-toxic, and your body makes it. It gets rid of microbes and the chemicals that actually kill microbes. You know, when people have an insect problem or some, I don't know, like ant problem, or they call a local company that comes out and then sprays either the inside of their house or the outside of their house. And a lot of people don't even think twice of what's happening. They're actually spraying these deadly chemicals, and they're usually in this fully protected suit, spraying this chemical inside your house or outside your house. And these are poisons, and they can be carcinogens. And a lot of people do it and they don't even think twice. So the next time you actually consider doing that, I would find out what type of spray they're using, and you do the research, do a really good deep dive, and find out what they're spraying to make sure that you want that around your house. Because yes, it will kill insects, but it can linger for months and months and months before it breaks down. Plus your pet gets it on their fur, they bring it in the house, and then it gets on you. There are some very, very natural, good, non-toxic things to use if you have pests around your house or in your garden. Neem oil is a really good one. You can use diluted vinegar. You can use Castile soap, diluted. 1 teaspoon in a quart of water works really, really good. This helps dissolve the membrane of the microbe. You can also use diatomaceous earth, and this is a really good non-toxic way of killing microbes around your house. So anyway, I wanted to give you this quick non-toxic vegetable wash that you can make very, very inexpensively.
All right, so that's giving you some good information about what you can do to clean your fruits and vegetables if you have bought something on the Dirty Dozen list. And even if it's on the Clean 15, let's still do the wash. Clean it. Like I said, I personally use white vinegar. Okay, alternatively, grow your own organic food if you can. And you don't have to have a big plot of land to do so. Even if you don't have a big yard, you can get some containers, like the gallon bottle of water containers, cut them in half, put some soil in them, and grow fruits and veggies right in those, okay? But grow your own food as much as possible. Backyard gardening is a big thing nowadays, trending. Very, very good, because you know what you're putting on that stuff. And get to know your local farmer, okay? Eat organic as much as possible, but still know that you have to clean your fruits and vegetables, and now you know what you can do to do so. All right? I hope you got something out of this show today. I certainly learned a lot as I was preparing for it. I know I now have to make some serious considerations when I'm looking at what fruits and vegetables I'm bringing into my place and taking better steps to clean them. Okay, so make sure you tune in tomorrow. We will have another thought-provoking show. I do my best every week to bring you guys information that will, if nothing else, get you to think. And tomorrow will be the same. Until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody that listened, and make sure you tell everybody to check us out on Facebook and watch the show a little later on if they couldn't listen to it live. Until tomorrow, take care, everybody. Be safe out there. Have a good one.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests.